Hello everyone and welcome to Crafternoon to Go presented by Chatham-Kent Public Library. My name is Amy and I work at the Chatham branch. I hope to guide you along on our next adventure together. Our Crafternoon videos will be posted on the third Monday of each month on Facebook and on YouTube. Kits will be available for registration by contacting us at askckpl.ca. You can call by phone at 519-354-2940. You can email us at cklibrary@chatham-kent.ca, by Facebook message at CK Library, in person at your local branch, or register yourself online at search.ckpl.ca. Carve out some time for us to craft together. Let's get started. This is the assortment of what you'll need to work with today. Of course, any variation of what you have at home will work just fine. And for your foraged items, whatever you find that is pretty for you, go for it. This is our opportunity to have some fun outside, finding these items, and then creating a beautiful winter sun catcher. Alrighty, let's get started. Okay, so I'm just gonna put our foraged items off to the side just for right now, just to get started so we can work on building the frame for our winter sun catchers. I'm just gonna turn this out of our way, keep that to the side. I'm gonna start today with the milk cartons. These, of course, is one carton cut in half. They do have that awkward new spout in them, so they're not as easy to cut as they have been in the past. So keep that in mind. You might need an extra strong pair of scissors or an extra pair of hands to help you with that. I was able to make it through with a little steak knife, but I was able to make it through okay. Also note that it won't be able to fill as deeply with your water for fear of spillage. But with that being said, we're gonna start by lining our containers with some saran wrap. And you wonder why we do this. This part just helps it make easier in the end when we are trying to take our molds out of the container. So because as you can see, there's a lot of folds within the milk container. The water will get stuck in there, and that's the last thing we want, to have to destroy anything in order to get it out of the container. So I'm gonna build actually two of these at the same time. Don't have to be too fussy, just as long as the saran wrap's in and around your edges. That is great. We'll do the second one here. One thing I did mention, that I forgot to mention actually, when I was talking about supplies, is making sure you have your handy dandy kitchen scissors on hand for you so you can use it to trim some of the foraged items. Now feel free, the items that I have are more natural just because it was available and easy to find around my house. If you don't live somewhere that it's that easy to find anything, like I have some oranges there. If you have some oranges that are on their way out, feel free to slice them up so that they don't go to waste. Try and pick items that are more natural, only because as the sun catcher melts in the warmer sun, it'll start exposing itself. And what will happen is that your local birds or animals might be coming over for a little nibble, and we don't want them nibbling on anything that might make them sick. Of course, they're very smart birds, and they know what they like and what they don't like, so they'll be able to pick and choose. You can even use some cranberries, or if you have some other fruit that's starting to not be so great in the fridge, you can use those as well. They make great assortments for color within your winter catcher. So what I did was just took an estimated, it's about the same length as milk carton, piece of string. I'm going to double it in half, and I'm going to tie a knot on the inside. This knot will actually lay inside the container, and then I'll do one more for the second one here, since I'm making two at a time. You can make them extra long if you know exactly where you're gonna, if you have a tree in the backyard to hang these, or I have a canopy frame that's outside of my back door. That's where I plan on hanging mine, just so I can see them. bring me a little joy in the morning when I wake up and see the sun starting to come out a little bit earlier every morning, because we all know how much we love our sunshine. So with that being done, they're just gonna lay there for just a moment. Now we get to pick a few of our items that we foraged for, and we are going to start laying them inside the container. So I will name what I found. If you have the same, perfect. If not, not to worry. I'm gonna start with a slice of orange and just put it in the middle of each. Now know that some of your items will shift a little bit as it gets, as the water pours in. That's okay too. So they'll give you some natural assortment. This is birdseed. So it's a variety that we picked up at the dollar store. It's great for songbirds. So I'm just gonna sprinkle, not too much because we wanna make sure the sun can filter through, but enough that if the birds see it, they can get to it and have a nice little snack. And if you find yourself with a little family of birds coming to visit you, and they know there's food, you can almost guarantee for them to come back every year, which is so exciting to see the winter birds come. It's those little things in life that bring you joy, so you gotta take advantage of them while you can. So that looks good to me. I'm gonna add a little bit of rosemary I had in the garden. Do that. And what I learned today when I was out in the garden picking some of these items is that honeysuckles produce berries. I didn't know that, but isn't that pretty? I thought, hey, that's really exciting. You learn something new every day, and that's what makes, you know, those little discoveries exciting. So I'm gonna turn, and you can lay these however you like, and it doesn't take much. I think I'm pretty much full. So what I'm gonna do now, I have my jug of water here. I just did this for ease of use. I'm sure you can, if you're in your kitchen, you can do this craft, you can take it to the faucet. Just be mindful not to overfill, and because I'm using the jug, it might be a little gunky. So I'm just gonna be slow and easy. You want just about everything to get submerged in the water. You will have some things float. You'll notice my seeds are starting to float. I'm being careful not to go too high in the container because of course the cutout that was there from the spout. You don't want to overflow that. And then I'll come to this next one. You can decorate these as dense as you like, as little as you like. Just to see the sun dapple through the ice is amazing. It's like watching ice sculptures of your own creation in your backyard. You can see how my orange started to float, but that's okay. My string, oops, my saran wrap caught. My string, that's the important thing I want to keep an eye on too. Make sure it's underneath as much as the water as possible. So, since I had a little bit of shift, I'm just gonna kind of just do a little poking, make sure everything's okay in there. I think my water level's pretty good. At this point, you can do one of two things. If you have a good size freezer that has a nice flat spot, go for your freezer, put them in there. You'll have no problems getting these frozen within a few hours because it's just so little water. If you don't have that freezer space, like I don't, I actually put my items outside on the deck and just let the cold air freeze it. With all the cold air we've had lately, it actually didn't take very long for that to happen. I let it sit out overnight, but really, it didn't need overnight. So that's one means of assortment. My first experiment ones, which I'm going to show, so I'm going to just put these up here, shift them out of the way, since I'm not close to the deck or the freezer at the moment. That's easy peasy. These are my first attempts at doing the sun catchers. So this one here was just in one of the tins. Easy peasy. I put the string in as I showed before. It's holding nice and tight. I have some holly in there. My Burberry bush had some berries on it as well. So I took advantage of that, a little sprig of that, and some rosemary. Now these ones I did not line with saran wrap, so if you don't have saran wrap, not to worry. I've also taken these out of the freezer just before I started the video, so I don't think we've been much longer than a few maybe 5-7 minutes. And it's come out quite easily, quite nicely. Now all I have to do is be mindful and get this outside before it drips too much into my basement. And then there we go. I'll get a picture of this outside as soon as I can. So that's that one. Thank you everyone for joining us for Crafternoons to go. Time to sign off. We'll see you next month. Bye now.